All right, it looks like the GOAT Caitlin Clark may be finally taking somewhat of a stand versus the nonsense that Stephanie White has been attempting to push upon her. We just saw Sophie Cunningham talk about Kelsey Mitchell potentially winning MVP.
Caitlin Clark just made her move, and it was calculated, powerful, and impossible to ignore. She's putting head coach Stephanie White on notice, not with drama or outbursts, but with the kind of leverage that only a global business empire can provide. If anyone thought Caitlin would passively accept being turned into a catch-and-shoot role player in some dull, off-ball offensive system, they fundamentally misunderstand what drives a generational talent. She's fighting back, and she's doing it the smart way, wielding her massive endorsement portfolio and media influence like a weapon. In a revealing interview with Yahoo Sports, Caitlin laid out the blueprint for exactly how she plans to remind the Indiana Fever, who really runs the show, for weeks. The Fever front office has been floating this absurd narrative about reducing Caitlin's ball-handling responsibilities and spreading the offense around. Meanwhile, players like Sophie Cunningham are out here suggesting Kelsey Mitchell deserves MVP consideration, as if the entire league hasn't been built on Caitlin's shoulders. It's collective amnesia, a willful ignorance of why arenas sell out and why the WNBA just secured a historic television contract. But Caitlin hasn't forgotten, and she just delivered a reality check that nobody in that organization can afford to ignore.
Okay. Caitlin Clark is a marketing juggernaut, but says winning will unlock more. At this point, Caitlin Clark can sign and secure any brand deal she wants. The only thing missing from her meteoric rise to global ubiquity is winning an elusive championship. The Indiana Fever star.
The financial truth is staggering and undeniable. Despite earning a relatively modest $119,000 from her WNBA salary last season, Caitlin Clark reportedly generated nearly $16 million through endorsements with powerhouse brands like Nike, Gatorade, and State Farm. She's not just an athlete, she's a Fortune 500 level brand wrapped in a basketball uniform. The WNBA's new collective bargaining agreement reportedly increased average player salaries significantly, and many fans believe Caitlin Clark's impact on league popularity played a major role in that growth. All 44 of her regular season games this year are set to be nationally televised, further highlighting the enormous attention surrounding her career. In her interview with Yahoo Sports, Caitlin made one thing perfectly clear. She refuses to become complacent, and she refuses to be anyone's secondary option. Her message was direct, her confidence was unmistakable, and her intentions were crystal clear.
Right here, we want to highlight this. If I don't play basketball well, she replied, then none of this is going to come along with it. And that's what the fans love to watch. They love turning on the TV and watching us play the game. I think that's why the WNBA has grown so much. It is because people realize how good our craft is, how good the game is.
Here's the quote that should have Stephanie White trembling. If I don't play basketball well, then none of this is going to come along with it. And that is what the fans love to watch. They love turning on the TV and watching us play the game. That's why tickets are hard to get these days. People want to get in the stands, and when they do, they keep coming back for more. Read between the lines, because this is a superstar who fully understands her own gravitational pull. When Caitlin Clark says, "That's what the fans love to watch," she's not talking about standing in the corner waiting for a kick-out pass. She's talking about the deep logo three-pointers, the no-look cross-court assists in transition, and the electrifying, ball-dominant style of basketball that captivated the entire sports world. She knows her global stardom, her reported $16 million endorsement empire, and her ability to pack arenas across America all depend on her being spectacular with the ball in her hands. If Stephanie White forces her into an off-ball role, it limits her superpowers and risks making the product less exciting. And Caitlin just publicly delivered a warning. If the product becomes boring, fans lose interest, ratings drop, and endorsement money eventually follows. She's essentially telling the Indiana Fever organization, don't sabotage the product that helped elevate this entire league. And if anyone still doubts she has the leverage to influence her own future, just look at the massive endorsement deals she continues to secure.